All right, going into our losers finals match, yes, losers finals match of the day. I did not change the names. I'll get that in just a moment. Between Clan and Team Predators. Let me change those names real fast. Super professional stream. Clan. All right. First off, for Clan, we have the Pac-Man S Domination. Junker, powered by Nietzsche's mustache. Left side light carronade mine launcher. Front Artemis. Right side double Banshee. Their ally is the app to get victory. Left side Artemis, Hades, Artemis, replacing that front Banshee with an Artemis. With the right side dual light carronade. Their opponents, Team Predators. First off, we have the Greasy Dream, powered by Mighty Kev. It is a Gatling light flak light carronade squid. Their ally is the Wretched Egg, Watch a Fish, with some guns on the side. Already these teams are engaging. App get victory. It appears as the target of both the blue ships, charging immediately into red spawn. With a huge amount of damage coming out, all the guns, all the engines, everything's disabled on the app get victory. Whole armor just barely getting back up before they take the final blow. And with this next armor break, they are going to go down. And take a look at the Wretched Gun's side guns real quick. We do have left side flamethrower, right side Gatling gun for that blue goldfish. And now let's see how fast that the Predators can manage to get this second kill on the Pac-Man S Domination. If they're able to do so before the ally spawns back in, or at least can put a reasonable amount of damage on them. Oh, here we go. App to get victory, taking a close spawn. He wants to get right back in this fight. You know, in the Pac-Man S Domination, well, I was going to say he doesn't take too much damage, but suddenly, he's just nothing. All his health is gone. This well-timed armor break combined with the light flak of the Greasy Dream, doing a huge amount of damage, just barely out of arming time. So I guess that, you know, that's one factor in favor of the light flak in the flak versus Banshee debate. Is once you're outside, if you can get outside of arming time in the squid, the light flak does way more damage. And yeah, you see the light flaks coming out now, doing just barely not able to kill them before the armor rebuild. And apt to get victory, he's got nothing going on for him. His engines are down, most of his guns are down. He's down to about 20% health. Balloon is burning. Everything's going bad. Everything's going bad. And now his Will and Last Testament will be brought into effect. Let's see where... It has been a while. I imagine spawn timer for the first red Junker that went down should be expiring pretty quick. So they're going to be wanting to take a defensive spawn here. They don't want to come in before their ally. Yeah, and this is a good spawn. Give them some time to regroup, get their wits about them, decide how they want to engage. Because I mean, at the beginning of that fight, basically, blue team just barreled through the center of the map straight into red spawn and rolled them over, even picking up that third kill. So now, if Clan gets a little bit of time to set up a defensive positioning they can utilize. You see now here, they're utilizing those Banshees. They're utilizing the dual Artemis Hades on the app to get victory. They've got those long-range guns. And already, you know, not doing too much damage, but the Wretched Egg is going to be forced out. And in the meantime, Greasy Dream's been a little sneaky here. You see red team up there. Going for a rear flank. But I still don't think he wants to engage with that as ally. Wretched Egg has been forced so far back. I really don't think Greasy Dream... Like, yeah, already the element of surprise is gone. The Banshees are coming out. Wretched Egg is not in position for this flank. They're too far away. So Greasy Dream probably wants to find a new position. I mean, Red Team knows they are where the Greasy Dream is positioned, so they've lost the element of surprise, already going to be taking some stray Banshee shots. But Wretched Egg is taking the majority of Red's fire with the Hades and the Dual Arts coming in. Yeah, ooh, yeah, Dual Banshee. Pac-Man S Domination flipping to the Dual Banshee side. Those Banshees are so powerful against low health ships. And now the Greasy Dream going to have to retreat. They have lost the advantage in this fight. And without the elements of surprise that they had at the beginning of the game, they're finding Red Team, the Clan's defensive setup to be much more difficult to assault. You know, they have this high position here. They have a lot of visibility. It's going to be very difficult to regain that element of surprise. And I want to. So I'm going to actually look at the bracket here. Yeah, I believe these are the same team compositions on both sides that Clan and Team Predators played earlier in the bracket on the winner's side. And this went it went decidedly in the favor of Clan. I believe that was a 5-0 victory in the second round. And one of the issues that the Predators were running into was that they were having difficulty getting the armor breaks. They're having difficulty doing enough damage. The Junker has so much armor and such a small hull profile. The lone Gatling of the Squid, they're having trouble getting anything done. And they don't have... I'm kind of surprised they're continuing to stick with the Watch on the Wretched Egg instead of bringing Heavy Carronade. Because what a Heavy Carronade would allow them to do is, you know, once they start getting some balloon pops, they could break apart Clan's formation, start causing the ships to drop down to the ground. With the Watcher, they're unable to do that. So no matter what, they're going to be forced to rise up into the Junker's gun arcs, which is what we're seeing here. And it does look like Apget Victory is going to be the target. Nice Watcher connection, taking out all their components. And Wretched Egg is going to be the next Watcher barrage is going to go into the Pac-Man, I believe. Or not. Not quite sure what the Wretched Egg is doing. But they're definitely not maintaining Watcher arcs. And exposing themselves to the dual light Carronade of the Pac-Man, knocking them out, so they still don't have Watcher arcs. I really feel like they should have made more of an effort to stay out of the Carronade side of the Junkers. And yeah, pushing them out of Hades arming time as well. The Apget Victory lending their DPS. Wretched Egg's in a real bad spot, and Greasy Dream is here. Like, he can shoot them. He's not taking any damage, but like, he's not getting any gun. Like, look in the top left. Look how little damage that Gatling did to the armor against the Pac-Man. So with Wretched Egg disabled, the Greasy Dream's not going to be able to get anything done. They just don't have enough armor shredding. And there's a second Gatling clip. Still no armor break. And, you know, in the meantime, both the Greasy Dream and the Wretched Egg have taken a lot of balloon damage. Oh, actually, well, finally got that armor break and finished off the Pac-Man. Red Team unable to capitalize on the Predators kind of moseying about with their guns. That was kind of a surprise. I was a little distracted. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I imagine some nice light flaks finishing them off. Like, yeah, with Greasy Dream distracted, trying to get that armor break, like, the red ships didn't really do much damage. Like, maybe some focus firing would have got more done for the Clan side. Like, Greasy Dream and Wretched Egg still have fairly damaged balloons, so that's something. It's going to limit their vertical mobility, but they weren't able to get any kills. And at this point, with it now 4-1 into Predator's favors, they need to get those kills. They can't they can't afford to just dawdle with their disabling Carronades and Banshees anymore. And they might be able to pick up a kill on the Wretched Egg here. They do. Dual Banshees from the Pac-Man. Alright, get out of here, Greasy Dream. Alright, and I was just taking a look at the timer here. It looks like we're about halfway through the match limit. There is a 20-minute timer for all of these Sunday Community Skirmish matches, and at the end of that, whoever's in the lead will take the match. So again, we have a situation where the onus is on the opponents of the Predators to make something happen, to chase them down. And it definitely seems like the Predators are they're in no rush to make something happen. They've got their 2-point lead. They're going to back off. They're going to regroup. They've got for them, they have all the time in the world. You know, feel free to burn that clock. Definitely one of the issues we saw in that last fight was definitely a lack of focus fire, because basically, you know, looking at these Junker builds, we have Carronades, we have a Mine Launcher, we have Banshees, then we have some, you know, more Carronades. These are primarily disabling weapons. They aren't the highest DPS weapons in the game, so they're going to have, these solo Junkers are probably going to have a little bit of difficulty getting solo kills, which makes focus fire that much more important. Like, once they have one of the blue ships down, they need to gun down the other. They need to make sure that they get the fastest possible kills. Because like light carronades is not the hard lock that like a heavy carronade goldfish is. Like, it's extremely difficult to get out of the heavy carronade goldfish. But considering that these are side weapons, there are a lot more mobility options you can use in trying to escape the Junker. If you reverse away from the Junker, they're going to have difficulty. There's a foil being rustled behind me. That's what that noise is. But the Junker will have difficulty pursuing carronade kills, which is in opposition to how the heavy carronade goldfish functions, which is very ram heavy. That's something the Junker can't really do because it's on the side. You can't shoot it while you're charging at them. So light carronades, not nearly as effective for getting kills. So blue team taking this very carefully. They're in no rush. They're hanging out. Wretched Egg going to rise up. I imagine they're trying to get some spots. They want a little visibility. Red team is really far away, so I'm not sure they're going to be able to. And they're moving in the opposite direction as well, so probably going to be a little bit more downtime before these teams actually find each other. I do wonder if the Predators actually, if they want to run out the clock, because the clock is a factor in these matches, but very rarely do we see teams intentionally trying to run it out. For the most part, these are pretty casual events. I mean, you know, in the relative to the competitive side of other games, most of us know each other pretty well, and are friendly in game, so typically we don't see people like running away trying to run out the clock in these sort of matches. Most teams just want to go for those fair kills, take out the clock, you know, in the way, or excuse me, win the game in the way the game intended, which is getting those 5 kills. And so in that sense, even though the option is available to the Predators to run out that clock, and theoretically that would probably give them the highest possible chance of victory, because it would be very difficult for these Junkers to catch up. Junker's not a very fast ship. Instead, they're choosing to move forward and try to find the enemy team, which are still unaware. They still, well, Spot's finally going down. So both teams are aware of where each other are. Red team going to be hanging out near the height ceiling, going to, again, try to force blue team to come to them, but they have the burden to make something happen. Like blue's under no obligation to charge into their defensive formation. And Greasy Dream's staying low. Looks like he's going to wait for the Aptget Victory to be just above him before he now rises up to engage. Gatling going to be engaged on the Aptget Victory. Aptget Victory dropping down, staying below the Greasy Dream's gun arcs for a few moments. And Pac-Man's red ships being a little split apart. Pac-Man's domination taking a few extra moments to engage in the fight. Currently only having the single Artemis in arc. So they're not contributing much to this fight. And at the same time, their Aptget Victory is getting gunned down. And that's going to be the 5th point for Team Predators. So same builds we saw earlier, different map, very different results. And that's going to be a 5-2 victory for the Predators, and they will move on to the grand finals to play against Cactus Crumples 2000.